What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes news for July 16th, 2024. And today we have the skill card for Melissa. And it actually sounds kind of good and honestly makes me think she might be a very meta, at the very least PvP oriented priest transcendence hero when she does come out next month. But so far the card sounds good. She's even got damage reduction built in, and I'm kind of excited to see what she could potentially do. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's go over Melissa's skill card. Alright, so number one, I think I sparked some debates as far as the B color goes. I think it's just typical to see black and white, but I've had a lot of people say, no, Bear, a lot of these Bs around are actually brown color. I'm like, okay, whatever, if you say so. We got both of her image files here today too, which is going to be cool. But let's start off with her active skill. Honeyed Nectar deals damage to backline enemies, reducing their control immunity for several rounds. So that's kind of a cool synergy with, like, you know, Therapist Blood Betty, heroes like that. Meanwhile, grants a shield equal to a certain percentage of attack and give them a B Sugarcoat skill on the ally with the highest attack and the ally with the highest speed, which isn't always the same. That is sometimes a different one. If you're in the earlier game, then it's usually the same hero, but sometimes it is different. This B Sugarcoat is a skill effect, increases the target's control immunity, which is cool for things maybe like, oh, I don't know, Void Campaign in the future, if she does have this type of ability when she's Transcendence. Not stackable, and will be removed whenever the target loses their shield. So having shield synergy does seem to be a little important with this Melissa. Hyperspace Hunter Ilamok. I mean, heck, in the early game, Inosuke maybe. I don't know. It could be interesting. Our next abilities here. Let's go over passives: HP, speed, control immunity, and the most important one, damage reduction. Pollen Spray is her next passive skill. Changes the basic attack to deals attack damage to random enemies. Meanwhile, grants a shield equal to a certain percentage of attack, and again, giving that B Sugarcoat to the ally, this time with the lowest HP. So the active does it to the highest attack and the fastest hero, whereas this basic changes it to the lowest HP. That's actually not that bad. I kind of like this. Lastly, we have Rapid B support. When an ally is inflicted with control effects, if self has a certain amount or more of energy, you're going to consume energy and remove a random control effect from the ally and grant that ally a shield equal to a certain percentage of attack. That sounds interesting. Now, maybe not on this bone dry forest version of Melissa, but if something like this carries over to a Transcendence hero, this could be absolutely amazing. Because like, my first instinct here is, okay, just run her with like an energy artifact in round one. The enemy tries to control you in round one before you even get a chance to go. Guess what? That control effect does not land. It really just comes down to how this energy works out, and I really hope this transfers over to the Transcendence hero very badly. We do have her tenants, but let's be honest, it's a regular hero. I don't think anybody cares. If you want to pause and look, go ahead. But Rapid B support seems to be the thing that sounds pretty nuts. Now, this is the image we previously had on this hero, and again, it does seem to be just pretty much the basic version right here. Nothing super special. It's pretty much what we already had, but we do have a conversion here. So you can see the basic wings here go into more butterfly-esque wings, which is interesting. Her hair even changes color. Her pigtails stay the same. She gets more frills everywhere. The typical get up we get going on. And then we go, if you want to take a little better look, you can pause here. And then we get what I think is the 10-star. This at least looks like the 10-star version. It's kind of all tricked out. The color scheme feels a little off. Like, there's so many different purples and blues here, but I mean, I guess that still kind of works. Even her shoes have little wings added to them too. But honestly, going from the transition from 5 to 6 to 10-star, it looks like going from like a starter hero to World of Warcraft hero with your full gear setup on. But looks pretty cool overall. Now, there's one downside to this hero for me this week. Number one, typically we try to see, is this going to be a good first E5 hero? And unless her damage numbers are pretty insane or something, I don't know if this is going to work. Granted, she does have sustain in the form of shielding, so she's going to be able to shield herself. And one thing that's really a struggle early game is control immunity, but I don't feel like this kit screams I'm going to be better than Eloise, unless, like I said, it does crazy numbers. Like this, the basic attack says deals attack damage to random enemies. It really depends on how many random enemies that is. And then of course this one here as well. The downside I see here is I need to know how this effect works too, because when an ally is inflicted with a controlled effect, that usually includes self when it says ally or allies. And then if self has a certain amount of energy, it consumes the energy to remove the effect, which basically means you're only going to be doing basic attacks if you're going up against something like Sealand, who's doing chain types of CC effects. And we're just gonna have to see how this turns out. Now, as a support hero, this could be pretty cool. And to be honest, I don't remember if it told us who she was gonna be a tenant for, actually. I think, let's see. I think there was a spoiler talking about this a little bit more in detail, but I can't actually find it right now. But if I take a look at the Chinese WeChat here, we can actually see who she is a tenant for. So we're going to go to new hero. We're going to zoom down to the bottom here, and let's actually see. I'm actually going to show you guys what it looks like, because sometimes you guys wonder what the translations look like. It's kind of funky. So you can see right here, she's the #1 tenant for, looks like regular, I'm gonna guess Yomcom is Yorm Tum, and the #2 tenant for Natalia and Gaggy. The #3 tenant for Betty and the new hero, maybe? I think? I don't know. This is usually what I have to work with when it comes to translation, guys. So a lot of times I am making stuff up on the fly, but it does seem like she might be a tenant for her first E5 hero, but I don't think so. We'll have to see. Now, since we just had anniversary, I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of accounts that have plenty of heroic scrolls on it, so I don't think I need help from the community this time. I will build her to E5. I will see how she performs in Sealand, because you never know. Even though she's a priest, she might come out of nowhere and just do some absolutely bonkers amount of damage, or maybe her sustain is enough to keep her going. Again, the only thing I'm kind of scared about is the fact that her passive there might make it so that she just never gets energy to use an active skill. The active skill deals backline damage. So long as the basic attack hits like 2 or 3 targets, I think she might have a possibility of being good, especially if we can maybe add in, you know, like balanced strike and maybe some decent artifacts as well. I don't know. Let me know how you guys think she's going to perform. This one is definitely a big question mark for me. So if you guys have any advice or support like that, please leave it down in the comments down below. I mean, maybe she's a good hero for like a Betty first E5, but that doesn't sound like a very good idea to me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your ideas are, and I'll see you guys next time.